Hi everyone, blessed be. I wanted to show you today some things that you can use that are free or easy to find, so you can use them in your practice. You may be wanting to start out practicing paganism, witchcraft, that sort of thing, but you've got no money. You don't have to buy anything. You can just use basic, simple items that you can. There are basic, simple items that you can use in your practice that aren't going to cost you loads of money or are free. So one of the first things you can do is recycle old jars. This is a little mini jam jar and I've just washed it and cleaned it out. This is a little piece of bone that I found in my garden, probably off like a rodent, like a rat or something. It's very small. That's the only thing I can think of that it might be off. We don't get a lot of other things in the garden, apart from like birds and stuff, but this doesn't look like a bird bone. I don't know what it's off though, to be honest. More than likely a rat, because I live not far from a takeaway and we do get them in the garden from time to time. But this little bone, if you wish to work with bones in your practice, see if I can focus. No, don't change the brightness. Sorry about that, it was out of focus. But yeah, if you wish to use bones in your practice, you can basically just dig around in your garden and see what you can find. I found this when I was doing some gardening and I've kept it, and it goes in here. And in here I'm going to keep, I've got the lid as well. I've just left it over the other side of my room, and I'm going to use this for any little bones I find if I wish to work with bones. Another thing you can use is snail shells. Now these were found in my front garden. I don't get lots of snails in my garden anymore, but I used to. Yes, these are broken, but that doesn't matter. Some are whole. If you can find ones that are whole, like these, it's even better. Let me just zoom in. Now, these obviously are bones that were naturally discarded when the snail has passed away. So they're ethically sourced. Literally, I found them like this in the garden. Obviously, you don't want to kill an animal, and you know I love snails, so obviously I'm not going to hurt an animal. But if you find an empty snail shell, by all means pick it up. You can use these in your practice for protection workings, because the snail shell represents protection. And you can find some really nice, beautiful little ones and some bigger ones. This is one of the best bigger ones. I am going to show in a separate video how to spruce these up and make them look a lot better. These have not been fully cleaned and prepared yet. I've literally just washed the dirt off them, but I haven't saying that though, some dirt fell out of that one. I haven't fully cleaned them up or anything yet. I will show you how to do that in a video. So you can use snail shells that you find in your garden and put them in one of your empty jars that you've got. So there's snail shells that can be used for protection workings. There are hagstones. This was found in the gravel in my front garden, and I found about 4 hagstones in the gravel in my garden. And hagstone is any stone where it has a naturally occurring hole, usually caused by water. So you could put this on a cord and wear it, and again use this for protection workings. You can use shells you found from the beach. This is a shell I collected when I went to the seaside, so it hasn't cost me anything other than my time, and it's very pretty, and I could use that for workings as well. And like standard seashells that you find, these are all things you just got to go looking for them. Now when it comes to crystals, oh, here's another hagstone I found, by the way. The hole goes there and goes right through, so I can use that as well. Now when it comes to crystals and things, what you have to remember is crystals are naturally occurring, and pretty much anywhere on the earth you'll find some form of crystal if you look hard enough and look in the right places. You need to look in places where there used to be, like, don't go to old quarries, but like you'll know of places locally where they used to do mining and stuff, and nearby you'll have what's called the waste heaps that they're left behind. So you'll find that like mixed in with the grass and stuff, and there'll be like trees and grass probably over the top of it, but you'll find the odd rock and stone. If you go by bodies of water, you'll 9 times out of 10 find some form of crystal. Usually quartz or calcite are quite common depending on where you're from. I'm from the UK, so quartz is very common, and so is calcite, but also you can find a lot of iron-rich crystals as well. And obviously you'll find them in their raw form. So I found this one. This one was in the garden, and it's nice and sparkly, and if I shine a light through it, you can see the light passes through it quite nicely. This is more than likely a member of the quartz family or a calcite type of thing. I think this one's more towards the quartz side of things. Obviously not a clear quartz, and it's obviously got some minerals in it. This could possibly be, I did write down what it could be, a quartz that's in some minerals, and I found that in my garden, so you could use that for any workings. Obviously quartz can be used for anything. I also found this. I have no idea what it is, but I kept it because it looks interesting and shiny and weird. If anyone knows what it is, let me know. I mean, it could even be a bit old, Victorian something, but I liked it, so I kept it. And obviously with these, if you don't know what the crystal is or the mineral is, you could go by colour correspondences instead. Here's another nice little rock I've found, which is probably a sort of calcite type of thing, maybe even a member of the quartz family. I found this one, and this one's got lots of sparkle to it as well. So there's obviously some sort of, maybe a bit of, like when the light catches it, there's little sparkles, so maybe it's got a bit of mica in it. It's probably some sort of member of the quartzy type family. But I just like it because it's a nice rock. So you can use stones and things from the garden in your practice. You don't necessarily have to know what they are. You can just go by the colours. This one's interesting. It kind of almost looks bone-like, but it's just how it's eroded. Again, I kept that. Got this one out of my garden, which reminds me of kind of like flint or something like that. You've obviously got the main rock and then this inside, but it's got some slight banding. Another interesting rock. I just like the colour of it and how it kind of looks like the top of a bone, even though it's not. Another little white rock. If you look in gravel, you will find this in people's gravel, like in the garden. This is marble that's used in the gravel, and it's white with loads of sparkle in it. And you'll also find bits of granite in gravel that's just on driveways and stuff. So look in your driveway, you'll probably find some minerals that you can use in your practice. I like these because to me these represent the moon because it's white and sparkly. Clear quartz is very cheap to get hold of. This is like this was probably about like on a £1.25, something like that, about £1. Certainly wasn't much more than that. So you can just buy a quartz crystal and use that for everything because it's a universal crystal. This one I did buy, but you can find ammonite fossils at the seaside if you get your eye in and you know what sort of rocks to look for, you can find ammonites, and you can find them in this form where they're nice and shiny if you chop them open. You can find ones that are just quite dull but still got the ammonite type shape to them. This is another hagstone that I found in the gravel outside my house. So as you can see, there's 3 hagstones. I haven't bought them, I've found them. So tea light candles, nice and cheap. This one was a pack of 6 for a couple of quid, but you can get the little ones, and they sell those in the pound shop. You'll get like a bag of them for like £1. So you can just use white tea light candles and things you found around your house. You can use old roses if someone's had some roses gifted to them in your house, or you have. Keep them and dry the petals and then use the petals in your practice. And also you can get these quite cheap if they're not like really elaborate roses. You can buy dried roses and stuff, but you can dry it yourself. I grow lavender in the garden, so that's free. I can just harvest that each year and gather that. You could grow rosemary in your garden. You can grow thyme in your garden, basil in your garden. So you could grow your own herbs. Okay, you might need to get like a pack of seeds or a sort of mother plant, but it's easy enough to grow that. So you don't have to spend a fortune. And to be honest, you don't actually need any of this. You could just not use any of these things. Depending on how you choose to practice. Save old jars. For moon water, just collect rainwater and then leave it out on a full moon. So moon water is free to make and collect. Bones, shells, rocks, minerals, crystals you can find if you're willing to search for them. So yeah, you don't have to spend loads of money to practice paganism or witchcraft. So I hope you enjoyed this little tip. I mean, and if you're wondering about the rocks, if you don't know what the rock is, go by the colour correspondence. So like, this one's quite greeny, so I could use this in money workings. This one is like quite quartzy, so that could be universal. You know, use what you have. You don't have to spend a fortune, and certainly don't go out thinking you've got to buy all these crystals and all these items. You don't need a mortar and pestle. You could just have a food bag and a rolling pin and just crush up anything you want to crush that way. You know, there's ways and means of doing things. So I hope you found this useful, and hope it helped you in your practice, especially if you're on a budget in these uncertain times. With rose petals, all you've got to do is leave them out, and they'll dry off. Just leave them somewhere warm. You can put them in a paper bag if you wish, and leave them somewhere warm, and the paper bag will absorb the moisture. Or what I tend to do is I tend to get a bowl or a plate. I'll just put these in the bowl or plate and just leave them, and they'll just dry out over time at room temperature. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Blessed be, and bye for now.